Hello, good morning, good afternoon, everyone. It's my honor to be here to share some our company best practice in sustainability. Let's start with the videos.
Let's go.
Okay, let me give you a background of our company. So our company, Aldo Group, is based in Montreal. It's a Canadian brand. We offer like a fashion, footwear, and accessory around the world. So our base in Montreal, so we have our Canadian, like a own and operated store in Canada and US. And outside of these two countries, what we work with is the franchise business. So we work with the partners to operate our brand in other countries. So nowadays we operate over 110 countries with over 3,000 selling points in the world. So as Shelley mentioned, Professor Shelley mentioned, during the in fashion industry, we do produce some waste, and our company, like a CEO, do consider the environmental impact that we make in the industry. So back to 2013, our group has a big statement is to be we are on the path to reduce the emission to become net zero by 2050. So what does it mean? We are aiming to eliminate and reduce our environmental footprint in the industry by working on different initiatives, by working on different segment of our business to make sure we lower the impact of the lower the impact on the environment. And then I'm very happy to share, in 2020, we are already in a 3 consecutive year to be a climate neutral company in our corporate environment. And I will be also sharing what is the climate neutral meaning in the whole in this certification. So in our own and operator store, we do consider every a single shipment that we ship to our customer that including some emission of the gas, related some of the packing related things that related to some CO2 emission. And then by the time that reach to the customer, this kind of environmental footprint and carbon footprint will be considered as some of the footprint that we create. And also considering on that, we as a company, we also invest on different kind of the project that we can give back to the community. For example, we do some forest restoration to make sure we can provide a gift back to the community. And also we we are also invest on some hydroelectrostatic project in India and in China to give back some of the give back some of the things to the community. So this will also be reduce some of the carbon footprint that we create in the community. So in this sharing, we will also share this kind of like key areas that we create some footprint. So in our group, we are having like a vertical operations. So including the, as you see from the sourcing part, manufacturing part, supply chain, when we do the retail sales in the store, and then how we are going to recycle. So this presentation will be also sharing like in each step how our company will be contribute and also kind of eliminate some of the footprint. So the first one in the resources, in the sourcing part, we always look for some innovative, sustainable materials that can eliminate some of the carbon footprint incorporate into our collection. So as you've seen in the video, so under our group, we have like two brands under our group. The first one is called the Koi Spring. This is more target for the younger customer because nowadays younger customers are very conscious about the sustainability and environmental issue. So I'm very happy to say like in Koi Spring, this brand, we are the first one to be like a full vegan product we offer to the market. That means like no more like animal stuff that incorporate into our collection. And then in our main line, Aldo, we have Aldo Collection, Aldo Love Planet, which is also be part of the sustainability product line that we offer to our customers. So here is some of the sustainable materials that we use in our collection. So you were able to see, for example, the first one, the plain base corn. This one is going to be replace the some of the leather materials because this is also having the texture of leather filling. So this can replace the leather materials that we use in our footwear. And then for the EVA with the algae, so this will also help to remove the algae in the water to make the shoes, and then this will enable some of the sunlight and make sure the clear water is able to generate in our water. And then other material is more like reduce we recycle the use of plastic bottles to eliminate some of the footprint. And then the second part, in terms of the manufacturing and production, we ensure in the process, we kind of eliminate the unnecessary chemicals. And also the materials that we use and provided by our supplier, they need to comply with our some of the chemical tests, some of the make sure they are respecting the industry standard. And then for the carbon emission footprint, so by the time that we start to measure the reduction of the carbon footprint, so back to 2013, since 2013, we already reduced like a 79% reduction of our carbon dioxide direct emission, which is related to our direct emission in Scope 1 and indirect emission in Scope 2. That is related to some of the energy generation in our head office and also our own and operator store. And then the third part, Scope 3, is related to the collaboration with our partner side because we run our business in 110 countries. So during the supply chain, we also have a different footprint in our market. So this is something that we are continuously working on to reduce our footprint in the market. So some of the progress that we measure, by 2021, we already reduced around 19% of our carbon emission per pair of the shoes compared to 2016 baseline. And then our target by 2030, we are going to reduce by 30% of our carbon emission per pair of the shoes. That is something that we are working on. And then in terms of the supply chain, here we are talking about like we apply some Ship Smart initiative. We are considering some environmental friendly shipment process, and also we incorporate with our DC, like a distribution center location. We kind of divide our shipment location, shipment route in different area, so that we build the DC according to the shipping destination, to make sure we kind of shorten and maximize our shipping route to our partners. And then we also optimize our loading to make sure like we have different initiative. For example, like some P-pack shipment working with our partners to ensure we pack our maximum capacities. And also, as here also mentioned, like a shipping route. This is something related to how we build the DC close to different territories. For example, we have DC in China, we have DC in Netherlands, and also we have DC in like North America to shorten the distance that we ship to the store and also ship to our partners. So this will also help to greatly eliminate some of the carbon footprint in our planet. And then when we talking about like in our retail store, we have a very strict control on our lighting, because this is one of our key energy consumption in our retail store. So we have in our store, we already implement like 100% of our LED technology lighting. So all our selling floor is using a very environmental friendly lighting system. And also in our corporate store, we also have the energy management system to manage our lighting and also our ventilation, to ensure we have lower the impact, like the carbon impact in our measures. And then in terms of the packaging, like we also are happy to share that we are already like not using the shopping bags in our corporate store. We invent our shoe boxes into like a hand carry shopping bag feel like. So this is something what we working on the packaging in towards our sustainability. So back to 2018, we already invent this kind of like a shoebox concept to replace our shopping bags, to like at that moment, I would say, to try to reduce the shopping bag that we use in our corporate store. And then working towards the years in 2015, we try to eliminate some of our accessory packaging that we use the plastic. Then we kind of eliminate on that. And then by 2016, we also implement the initiative, what we call e-receipt. So we try to eliminate also like a lot of printouts of our like a receipt towards the customers. So this also saves a lot of the paper in the environment. And then in 2017, this is something that we work on the shoe boxes to reduce further to optimize our reduction of the carbon dioxide footprint through the transportation. So this one is more like a tie back to the supply chain, back to the beginning, like once the shoe being made and then packed in the factories, they use the shoe boxes already. So through the whole like a supply chain, they use the same shoe boxes. So this will eliminate different kind of like a packing footprint of our environment. And then in 2018, we in our Coil Spring, our shoe boxes in Coil Spring is also certified for more like a environmental friendly packaging element. And then in 2019, we also we invent our like a string on our shoe shoe boxes to make it more like become like a paper like a plastic free, more like a paper made string. And then as I mentioned, like by 2019, we already like in our corporate store, we already eliminate most of our shopping bags that we use in our store. And also 2021 in our e-com business, we already ship with our shoe boxes. So here I would like to share another videos that talking about our packaging. So as I mentioned, our group has a very a determined way to go for sustainability. And as I mentioned, by 2050, we are targeting to become a net zero footprint on our planet. By doing that, we also participate different kind of make sure we source in more environmental friendly suppliers and organization work closely with those organizations to make sure we eliminate some of the footprint on that. And then we also work closely with some science based company to set our goal to make sure we work with the progress towards the goal that we set. And then our supplier also they need to have those a high standard to make sure all the materials that we use in our production making the footwear and handbags is up to our standard. And then in terms of the retail, we work on our packaging to eliminate those kind of environmental footprint that you saw in the videos. And then we have in our main line, Aldo, we offer Aldo Love Planet to become a more eco-friendly collection that we engage with our customer to communicate the message that our brand is very committed to become a sustainable brand in the market. And then also for Koi Spring, so this is targeting more younger customer that we also start to seeding and educating them how important is our environment, how important that we can contribute to the environment by lowering the carbon footprint. So this is a long journey to go, and let's join our journey towards the sustainability. Thank you.